My notes are all over the place on this record right here. Just bear with me. I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can because this is a rather complicated story of sorts. But this was one fantastic funk record. Jam On It by Newcleus at number 23, up one from 24 on my fancy playlist, June 4th, 1984. Just flipped over this record. Played a lot on urban radio, but it was too urban, too street to be played on pop radio. The pop stations would not play this record. It didn't exist as far as they were concerned. It's more of a clubbing record, but still, threw it on my fancy playlist. If this was a real radio station, it would have been played on this real radio station alongside with Dan Hartman and Rod Stewart and Billy Idol. Jam On It by Newcleus. The origins of this band, about 1977, it was a family affair. By 1979, it jailed into Ben Sinek, the founder of this outfit, Yvette Cook, his wife, and Monique Angevin, his cousin, along with Bob Chili B. Crafton. Now, Bob Chili B. Crafton and Sinek, they go back. They were from the same neighborhood in Brooklyn, and they played in a band called Thunderfunk. And Band Sinek participated in some of these hip-hop battles in the streets of Brooklyn or New York back in the day, back in the 70s. And there was two outfits. Now, I know this is going to sound very confusing. I was a little confused when I did some research on this band. There was Deejay. There was by 1980. They were in a band. The band was called Positive Messenger. They were doing uplifting songs of faith and love. But they also did hip hop records with DJ Crew Jam Productions. And one of the guys at Jam Productions, one of the DJs, he went up to Sinek and said, "Man, why don't you put out a rap record?" And Sinek was like, "Well, I don't like this rap stuff they're doing on the radio. Man, I go back to those rap battles back in the 70s, those hip-hop battles we did back in the 70s on the streets." And they won a battle, Sinek did, against this DJ. And this DJ said, "Oh, okay, you guys are badass, but you can't do this. You can't do that. Wiki, 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 wiki." Scratching the turntables. So Sinek had this idea of doing a parody jam record, a hip hop record, kind of a Western theme record, where they sped up the vocals, kind of sound like the Chipmunks from back in the late 50s, early 60s. And he collected, Sinek, I'm drawing from various sources on this record. Sinek had collected a lot of recording equipment, a lot of electronic equipment. Newcleus, well, the group that eventually became Newcleus, they started making demos. And they put this song, I think it was called Jam On Revenge. The song was called Jam On Revenge. This was the one they did at the block parties. And they put it at the end of the demo. This was a favorite. They sent the demo out, caught the attention of a producer. His name was James Webb. Now, he wasn't too impressed with the other stuff that Newcleus had put on this tape, but boy, he liked that Jam On Revenge, that wiki, wiki, wiki. And it was put out, and it flared up on the streets. It did well on the streets, on the R&B charts. And then Jam On It came on as a follow-up. Jam On It went to number 56 on Billboard's Hot 100. I think I've already mentioned that. Don't remember seeing the video on Night Tracks. They did tour. Newcleus did a tour, Fresh Fest tour. They toured with Curtis Blow. Now Curtis Blow was badass. Now he was getting played on the R&B radio stations. Curtis Blow, Fat Boys, Run DMC on this tour that they did. Boy, I love that bass guitar. See, here's the thing about this record. This is a compound. This is a musical compound of funk, electro and hip hop, influenced by Planet Rock. It was I can't pronounce that guy's name, Africa Bombada, which came out in 1982. And well, that's it. I believe I'm done. Did I mention? I think I've already mentioned that Robert Crafton and Sinek, they played together before this Newcleus thing, and a band called Thunderfunk back in the 70s, but I might have already mentioned that. Well, here we go. We got Newcleus. Check out that bass. Dum, 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 at the beginning. Fantastic. Delicious bass right there. Newcleus, Jam On It at number 23 on my fantasy playlist, June 4th, 1984.